Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the second match of this best 2 out of 3 between Thingy and Warlords of the Deep. You to see two of my favorite looking ships in EVE. Very, very gorgeous Damnations. Both teams have brought Damnations. Once again, we have setups that are almost identical, just kind of mirrors of each other. And this time it is with a much tankier armor setup. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these setups, Stolen?
So the brick tanks from these Damnations used to be the sort of support Lynx battlecruiser command ship for the Amara, but now you've made some changes to them. They have a lot of buffs in their combat ability. They do a fair bit of damage, and supplementing that damage is going to be all the damage from those 3 Vexors on either side. We'll have to see how much they're willing to get in and brawl with their drones. How many do the Damnations have any utility slots?
Yes, all the command ships have 2 utility slots because they use it for links. For the most
that's
part.
correct.
So they've all got 2 high slots that aren't used by weapons. In this case, it'll probably be links, but they can also use like 1 link, 1 nuke, or 1 link, 1 smart bomb.
1 smart bomb would be quite strong against Vexors. We'll
Yes, it would. They actually were chatting about what they had in the utility highs in local. They saw the setups and well, I've brought medium nukes. What about you? And so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Both teams are now off. They did come in at max range, but they came in at close beacon, so they actually only started about 70 kilometers away from each other. And at this point, Warlords has definitely won the early E-War battle with these Molluses especially, but also Damps probably coming from the Merlin.
Yep, we can see here Merlin with the Mollus of for Warlords of the Deep is actually trying to get decent positioning on hitting the backline logistics here for Thingy, probably trying to put some pressure on the Oneros.
So we actually see Kaddish Priestess in his Mollus for Hydra has swung all the way around the far side and is actually over beside the entire Thingy team.
Yeah, I suspect he's trying to put pressure, get in range of the Oneros and put pressure on him.
However, that put him in a bit of danger. We actually saw Niart in the Mollus for Thingy.
Mollus versus Mollus fight.
Charging at him, and they pulled back. They're actually having potential Mollus dueling going on.
Damnation's ready to fight here. We have a tackle and target painter on the Damnation of Count Monte Carlo. And damage already coming across. Tackle similarly on Nick Domar, but no damage applied yet on the Thingy team.
I mean, I think it's only a matter of time. It's going to be just a few moments before we start to see damage applied to both.
Vexor's getting chunked on one time. Warlords of the Deep much faster on their reps, a full cycle sooner than the reps on Dexter there.
Yeah, Dexter is getting repped very solidly, but I do think that the Vexor is a much, much better target than the Damnation in this case.
Yes.
Vexor is providing as much DPS, if not even a little bit more DPS, depending on the fit, than the Damnation, and it's a much, much weaker tank, so it's going to be a lot easier to kill. It looks like the Thingy guys have actually realized that. They've already switched over to Eyes Hella, who is going down a lot faster than Dexter is.
Yeah, but... where'd the reps go? Reps were just taken off. I think. Oh, Damps on the Oneros.
Smart use of Damps. Damps are on both Oneroses right now. The big difference is the Oneros for Thingy is close enough to get reps on. That, however, means that he is tackled. There is now a scrambler on the Oneros for Thingy. That means that he might become the primary target very soon.
Yep, that might be a worthwhile trade. Yep, and they switch right to the Oneros. You can see the target painter there. Damage is going to start being applied here. It may be a worthwhile trade to trade a Vexor for Oneros. 2 Vexors for Oneros. I don't know about that though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Knifey's Vexor is now the primary for Thingy, and he is tanking pretty well right now, but as we saw before, the Oneroses can very easily lose their lock once we have the Damps all switched over to him. At the moment, the Mollus of Niart there for Thingy does have Damps on him, so if he can get better positioning, get out of the damp range of his opposing Kaddish Priestess, that Vexor is going down even through the reps.
Yep, the Vexor's going down through the reps, and they've locked away these Damnations. These Damnations are both tackled, not perhaps in the optimal range that they'd like to be, so they can't really bring their damage to bear on the Oneros. So even though the Oneros was tackled before, he's now broken all tackle and is on the run. And Webb landing on the Oneros for Dark Soldat and Scram. He might be in big trouble soon.
Yes, he's going to be, I'm sure, the next target. After Thingy knocks down 2 Vexors, they're going to be in a huge DPS advantage. They've got 2 Vexors over their opponents, and now they're going to switch to the Oneros and just basically seal the deal. If they can finish off this Oneros while keeping the rest of their team alive, actually, never mind. They're going to go straight for the Vexor instead. They're just going to go brawl right through these Vexors and cut off. Those Vexors are over half the damage for the Warlords team.
It may be that they've got the Oneros tackled outside of damp range, and they know once the damps are on there, it's never going to be able to rep
reps on
here.
That Vexor there. Yes, he is being damped. That is a huge, huge advantage for Thingy.
Look at the cloud of drones from
Dexter's
the Thingy
Vexor
team.
for Thingy is also not getting reps. It looks like Dradar's Neros is also tackled and damped outside of range.
Yep,
but
and
at this
Dark
point,
Soldat's next.
At this point, there's just such a strong advantage for Thingy after having killed 3 of the Vexors and not lost a single ship yet.
Yeah, exactly. We can see here everyone's motoring towards Dark Soldat. Lone and Nero surrounded by a cloud of Vexers. Not a great place to be.
No, not at all.
But at the same time, the Oneris is going down for Thingy.
Yep.
Maybe not a clean sweep, but certainly going to be a victory for Thingy here.
I mean, it's hard to say that for sure. We've said that before in matches and had it swung around. The Aneros look of Dark Soldat is tanking really, really well. And if they can take down a couple of Xers now that there's no reps, then Warlords might be able to
There is
pull
a
this
loose
back.
damnation here. One of the damnations is broken away. The other one's still tackled.
Mhm. And I mean, if they can, they're going to be applying the damage to Dexter, I believe. It looks like we'll have to see if they move through that shield.
They're going to break Dark Soldat just now.
It looks like Warlords is trying to shoot at Nick Domar's damnation. That I can't believe is the best choice, unless they just can't get on top of the Vexers, which is very possible.
Yeah.
The Vexers are all the way over there with the Aneros, so I guess that's maybe the only option they have available to them. But still, that Aneros is going to drop, and then it's going to be just basically 2 damnations versus 2 damnations. Or 2 damnations, but sorry, the Thingy team will have a whole wing of Xers to help them as well.
And there goes Dark Soldat. Damnation for Nick Domar is about in half armor, but I don't know if they're even going to be able to finish him up here.
They very well may be able to, but actually if I was them, as soon as those Vexers charge back into the fight, which they probably are going to, they're heading back towards the main fight now, I would heavily consider switching to one of the Vexers to try to take them down. They're really... Actually, never mind.
Wait a second.
They're flying away. So they're playing it smart, actually. They're doing exactly the right thing, dropping their drones, keeping their distance, keeping the Warlords' damage onto a damnation where it's a lot less effective.
Yeah, so they've got the smallest. The smallest is going to go down here. That's going to put them...
Look how quickly Count Monte Carlo's damnation is going down. Much faster than Nick Domar's because there's all of that drone damage from the Vexers.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, he's going to actually, even though there was such a huge head start on Nick Domar's damnation, Count Monte Carlo is definitely going to drop first. In fact, once that goes down, that's half the DPS, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Nick Domar survive the fight with very, very low armor, maybe even knocked into structure, but still alive. As Count Monte Carlo drops down into structure now. This means that both of our series are going to go to 3 matches. We are going to see the full best 2 out of 3s for both of these. Our next match after this will be the final match of We Heard Kobaz Inside series, and then after that we will return to this series, Thingy versus World of the Deep, all of it tied up at 2 apiece. Really, really impressive from all these teams. It's been really cool, interesting to see the almost identical setups coming from Thingy and Warlords.
We have good fights in local from Hard SP, Count of Monte Carlo, Apathetic Brent, under the guise of Fat Cat.
Yep, his alt there. I think it's actually very possible that these 2 teams may have talked and actually decided to run the same setups. It's worth noting that doing that is not against our rules. If you want to set up what you think will be a fun fight, as long as both teams are trying to win, that's what's important. What we care about is both teams competing to win. As long as you're doing that, then it's all good.
Perhaps they've made some agreement where they're bringing the same setup, and then Warlords of the Deep is going to stab them brutally in the back and bring
Next
the counter
time
to
they'll just
that
be like, can you just bring damnations again? They'll bring fleet foons and just kite them all around the arena. That is the kind of thing that is very possible in this match. We don't have any rules against backstabbing each other in the Alliance tournament. E-Honor is completely optional.
Yep, exactly.
Now it's just going to be Lilu Malkins, Merlin dropping down. Another one of those very veteran Hydra pilots, a member of a lot of their successful Alliance tournament teams. And it looks like he flew out of the arena, ended it quickly, and that is the match. Thingy tying the match up, and we're going to be seeing a 3rd one in this series right after we see the 3rd in the We Heard Kobaz series. And we'll show you some ads and then be right back.